The podcast we brew, pints and beers just for you. IT on tap, the podcast we brew, pints and beers just for you.
Hello and welcome. This is episode 14 of IT on Tap. And today we will see the hidden cost of taking shortcuts. We will see why it is important to maintain and make sure your environment is clear of technical debt.
Is that another one of those buzzwords, Nick?
No, because technical debt actually does come to bite you in the ass when you keep it on for too long.
True. And I think every company has to deal with this.
Everybody takes on technical debt.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in life, you know, sometimes you just don't have enough time and resources to buy this little thing. And you go and you take a loan on the bank and basically it's a shortcut. The bank gives you a shortcut to a lot of money.
Oh.
But in the end, if you take on too much debt, the collector is gonna come and you're gonna have to pay it back.
And that's what you mean with that banger one-liner you dropped.
Exactly. So yeah, technical debt. I like to compare it with like house maintenance, you know? Like you have a house. If you don't clean the gutter, it's nice. Or it's good. Okay, you can skip it once. You can skip it twice.
I'm sure you can skip it 3 times too.
You can skip it 3 times. But it might get pretty dirty, pretty full. The rainwater will not drain. And it might get into your walls. It might get like other stuff going on. Same if like little things that you don't do. It always has consequences.
Clean the drain pipe in your shower, for example.
Oh, yeah.
That's one that a lot of people can relate to, probably.
So when your girlfriend's showering and you don't clean it out and the hairs get stuck. Though, ladies, I'm sorry. We also know that we get hair stuck, but gradually, or statistically speaking, our hairs are less long and less likely to get stuck.
True.
That's the one with little to no hair. I will take that. So yeah, no, that technical debt, that is what it is.
How would you say, or how are we dealing with technical debt?
How are we dealing with technical debt?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think technical debt, when people think about technical debt, they might think about developers mainly, because technical debt is more in code, but also in security and in infrastructure you have technical debt. How do you deal with technical debt is structure, like structuring your team to be more consistent and also pick up that technical debt. Because basically technical debt is something that comes from not having enough time, like taking these little shortcuts or not thinking far enough about the problem, how it will go into the future.
Is not having documentation called technical debt?
Of course, because if something is not documented. Okay, let's jump into a real life example. Let's say we have these systems that are running, legacy systems. Let's say it's a finance CRM. And yeah, so you know, finance, it touches a lot. It's like very important. If it goes down, the company cannot send out invoices. It cannot get paid. Like very, very critical. But you know, when you set these things up, the last thing you do in this process or in the finish the project, it's documenting. And finance needs to be up and running, so they are pushing for the newest, the latest, the greatest. And back in 2017, 15, whatever, they were pushing really, really hard. Now we're 10 years later, and all of a sudden something breaks. The engineer that did the implementation long gone. And now we need to go and troubleshoot. We need to go in and find that issue. So first thing you go is like, okay, what's documented? and then you found out nothing.
That's when your hell starts.
Yes. So then you spend hours and hours and hours troubleshooting. And maybe you find the issue, you fix the issue. And what can you do? You don't maybe if you're really a good one and not drained and completely exhausted and demotivated from that troubleshooting journey, you document your troubleshooting journey and what you figured out. And you have this little piece of documentation.
Mm-hmm.
But again, how much is still undocumented from that system? And you can only find out when it breaks. Or you need to go in and really like reverse engineer it. But then you're already solving your technical debt.
I remember a wise man once said that in everything that you do, you can devote 80% of your time to actually do what it is you were supposed to do, either setting up a new service or something else. And the last 20% you should always devote to documentation. You should always document whatever it is you've done. And I think actually, I'm not gonna say we're good at it, because a lot for our stuff is also undocumented. We both know that. But the way that we work with our tickets and our ticketing system, a lot of the stuff we do is actually documented in there. It's scattered all over the place, and not everyone fills in those tickets in a good way with enough information. But if everyone would do that, you would have a nice trail of what happened, and you would have your documentation for you.
That's true, but that's only for like ITSM stuff. So like change management, incident management, request management.
True.
So it's not really system documentation and project documentation. That is not in there. But yeah, basically it's like bad documentation, suboptimal decisions. Like one of the things you can have is like, okay, I'm gonna run this thing. Okay, like really, really nice word, microservices. Again, buzzword.
That's a buzzword.
Yes, microservices. Oh, this is this cool technology that is out now. We have this platform. We're gonna make it on microservices. You force it to run on microservices. But then maybe 2-3 years down the line, it turns out to be the bad decision. And it's more complex. It's not documented because it was way harder to figure out than just set it up simple. Yeah. So yeah, those are the decisions that you make and how it turns into a more difficult part.
Whew, okay, so not having documentation is a bad thing to do. Yes. Having documentation will save your life more than once, especially when you are maintaining an IT environment. You get called in the middle of the night because something broke down. You have no idea what this service is. You will want to look up your documentation, go search in the wiki pages that you may or may not have, and try and hope to find a solution in there.
Do you know what the worst part is of it all? You can not stop it. You will always take on that.
The technical debt?
Yes, you will always take it on. Like, even if you are very good at documenting, you cannot predict how your decisions are going to impact you 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line. You can have an inkling. You can have a strategy. You can have a feeling. One of the nice things is vendor locking. I know you are very big on vendor
Don't
locking.
put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. So let me give you a story about vendor locking. So let's say you are a company and you use certain products because they're stable, they're good, but all of a sudden, like as everywhere, acquisition happens. Companies get bought out,
M&As.
and their new strategy comes in, and all of a sudden you need to move away. But you put 5-10 years into this technology in your business, building it on this technology. Everything is built on it, and now all of a sudden you need to change away. And because you never thought about changing away from this provider or what are the alternatives, you have to do this really, really big monolithic move.
Yeah, indeed. Suddenly you need to basically build it back up from scratch.
Yes. And I'm not saying that it's bad to invest in technology and going that way. I just need to, like, I feel like you need to regularly check yourself. The decision that we made in the past, is it still the right decision?
Yeah, like let's say one day the company decides that we don't want to have anything to do with Microsoft anymore. Suddenly there is a whole lot of stuff we need to move away from.
Of course.
And I believe a lot of companies have this kind of vendor lock-in with Microsoft there. Like, how are you going to replace the OneDrive? How are you going to replace the whole Office suite? How are you going to replace your identity management with Entra? How are you going to replace all those function apps that you have running, all those servers running there? That's you would need to rebuild it from scratch.
But now the hard part. We've talked about we talked about technical debt rather. We talked about you cannot solve it. You cannot get it. How do you identify technical debt? How will you see? We already talked about, okay, if there's no documentation, there are probably high chances there is technical debt. That's a giveaway. But how else?
How else? I guess by incidents happening.
Very good. Yes.
If stuff goes down and then suddenly you realize that the documentation that you thought you had is completely outdated, and you need to reverse engineer either way.
Yeah, but also, for example, incidents that come back regularly. Like a thing can happen once, but if it keeps happening or similar things keep happening regularly, you have maybe a procedural failure that you need to go and look at again. Maybe you figure something out. Like even today, I found out something technical debt. Got contacted by a colleague. Hey, our mail's not working, and I figured out they were using user mailboxes for an application, which is not best practice because user mailboxes, they have drawbacks. So you need to go and look like, okay, is there another solution? What can we do? I fixed it. Like,
of course you did.
I solved the problem, but I also said to the person like, hey, look, we need to go and look at this again. Like if there is a better solution, if there is something that we can build upon, we change the way you guys do this and we are set for a couple of years longer.
And that's also that's not super easy to do because you need to change the way another team is working with something, and probably a lot of their workflows are dependent on this configuration.
For sure. And that is also something to take in account. So then it's all about, okay, I'm aware of this technical debt, and do I accept this technical debt being there? Do I know the risks that are there? And then it probably will be taken up into a risk register. I need to stop the podcast for a second. Okay. Because the battery of the laptop that we're recording on is dying.
I will fix it.
Okay, so technical debt. And here is also technical debt, not putting in the charger into the laptop.
And I know this, but I forgot. And we're safe again. Woohoo!
Yes. Okay. Live podcast. Always cool. So what were we talking about? Fixing technical debt and checking in.
And the whole change management that comes with it.
Exactly. Yeah. Change management is important. Like you need to follow up on it. So we talked about identifying. So incident rates. This was an incident that came in.
Now are there other ways to identify technical debt?
Yes.
Instead of not seeing there is no documentation. So no documentation, incidents, recurring incidents. What else?
So recurring incidents, increasing time to deploy things.
Oh.
So if things are more technical or less documented, it will be harder to deploy new updates, new things into it.
That's a nice one, not being able to update an application because you don't know how it's running. Damn, do we suffer from that one.
But also just
good one.
Yeah, engineers that are working on the product that will flag this as like, hey, this is not okay. Like we should do something about this. And I must say, we are personally blessed with a pretty young and dynamic team around us and us as our colleagues that do flag those issues, and we try to actively improve and take on these risks.
Yep.
So yeah, that is a thing. You need a team that also wants to take on and is dynamic enough to take on those risks or take on those technical depths that are there and see what we can improve on.
Exactly.
How we can take away that debt.
No, if your team is not capable enough, then you will never solve your technical debt either.
Of course not. There are some metrics you can use, of course, like security scanning tools can also point out technical debt because they will point out mechanics or ways of doing things that are outdated, that are actually risky for your organization, which can lead to deeper investigation and uncovering the technical debt. It's like, it's like the fridge. You have a fridge and you have these, like the fridge, it's moving, everything is going, and there is this little canister that after a while, nobody knows what's in there. Nobody knows what it does, but it's important. And then you open up the canister to only find out that it's super moldy, it's totally gone bad.
Yeah, you know what I like to do with those little things in my fridge? Throw them out without looking at it.
But then you figure out, oh, I actually needed that.
Yeah. And it will be the day after. Damn it, now I need it.
So how do we prevent? We already talked about documentation. What else would be an easy way to prevent technical debt from day one?
If I can speak about my shop, doing the continuous watch over your environment, constantly scan your environment for, and then again my shop, for vulnerabilities, for outdated systems, for misconfigurations, those things. And if they pop up, or if you get notified by an alerting service, act on it.
Yeah, same here for infrastructure. It's alerting, but it's also architectural reviews. You can put together like the bright minds in your organization, and we actually do it in our company. Put together an architecture board, which is not just the infrastructure team. You include other people, like Peter is also on the architecture board with us. Application teams are on the architecture board, because they will bring up those remarks, those risks, those but oh, this is working. When you're like setting out this architecture and you're talking about this system, they will say like, oh, I didn't know it was working like this, but maybe we can do this.
Yeah.
Because it's not only infrastructure people. We're all IT people. We all have some technical knowledge. We all have some conceptual knowledge about how things work, how systems work. So we can give information to each other. Even if it's just posing a question like, oh, I didn't know it worked like this. Maybe we can do it like something like this. And it can be total nonsense, you can immediately maybe technically be like, yeah, it's not possible because of this and this constraint, but it could be this thing that you just didn't think about because you're so used to doing it this way.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone has their ways of doing something.
Exactly.
So having another set of eyes on the same problem might spark some new ideas. What was it you said? Golden nugget?
Yes.
Cool.
No, we cannot coin this. It's from another podcast. But also, observability, monitoring, knowing what's going on. And another thing that we might forget, automation. Automating things actually also makes it easier, because what is automated doesn't need to be documented. No.
You can't go wrong, not exactly.
No, the thing is you don't have configuration drift. Everything will be done the same way all the time. So it's
that is
more
true.
predictable.
That is true. Yeah. And then by having these automations there, that's also a source of information that you can look up, in which you can see how something has been set up.
That's the thing with infrastructure as a code.
Yeah,
And it's one of those taglines they use for it. Your infrastructure as a code is actually your documentation.
Indeed. And it's cool because that way you have kind of a live documentation page. Like if you can put some cool rendering skills on your whole EAC code, you have your stuff documented. If something changes in the environment, your documentation changes immediately as well. Isn't that the stuff we all dream about?
Yes. And
I know
day,
I do, because I hate
it might.
writing documentation. It's not the most sexy thing to do in IT, but it's very needed. And
Yes.
you know what? I'm gonna take back my words, because when you have fine documentation, that can be sexy as hell.
Of course.
When you have those diagrams and the flows of how the data goes, the VLANs in which the data flows.
Look, we have some colleagues that do really good documentation. I'm thinking about one in particular that does really, really good documentation. He's a DBA.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Indeed, shout out.
And
True.
like, for me, the problem with documentation is like I have the blank page syndrome, or not really the blank page syndrome, but I start writing and then I'm like, this structure doesn't fit. I don't know how to structure this. I don't know how to bring this on.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think nowadays that blank page syndrome is really getting solved with AI.
Oh, for sure. I use AI way too much. I'm writing a whole government's like ITSM documentation right now with just AI. Or not with just AI. Like it's not like I'm like, okay, now a ChatGPT or Copilot or whoever is your favorite, write me this. No, I spar with it to get some feedback and try to get that to work.
And that's how you should do it.
It's also how I get the structures a little bit more aligned. When I'm stuck, I ask him and he will, or her, and he will tell me like, hey, maybe you should do this. And I'm like, okay, let's. But then another thing, last thing actually, for making sure you
identify,
prevent technical debt. Is, well, we know it's unavoidable. It's always going to be there. So just as you reserve some of your nicely earned cash to pay back your mortgage every month, you also need to, and yeah, in business, or most of us don't have cash to pay back when it's the business, but we do have our time. We have our working time. So schedule some of the time in your sprints, if you're an agile team, or in your working week, or in your working month, whatever, to focus on tackling that technical debt. So you need to capture it, just making tickets, making a note, and then let's say like, okay, Fridays, it's an easy day in the office. Most of the time it's calm. All those people that work 4 days a week, they have the Friday off because they want a long weekend.
Indeed. Or they take Monday off because they want a long weekend. But
come on, don't ruin my story here.
I'm sorry.
And you just take that day and you work on the technical debt.
But I like to use my Fridays to vibe code.
Oh well. And that's why security and infrastructure don't get along. No, just kidding.
No, that's not true. We do get along. But no, you're right. But it's like I said in the beginning of our conversation, I really try to spend 20% of my time of each task on just documentation. And from time to time, when I don't really have anything urgent on the agenda to do, and I'm bored with vibe coding or going through my tools, I just go through my documentation and I try to identify stacks that are outdated, where, oh yeah, your environment is a living environment. So the moment that you write your documentation about how a certain tool is working or how a certain service has been set up,
Yes.
the moment you write it, it is already a bit outdated. Then let's say an incident happens, you need to deploy a hotfix.
Yep.
This is your configuration that changes. If you don't immediately update your documentation, it will get outdated. If you postpone the going over your documentation, it will become very outdated.
Agreed.
So-
That's why you need those
Mhm.
reviews.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you do it? Or you don't write documentation so you don't have this issue?
Well,
It's also possible.
like I'm preaching here, but I'm actually not following my own advice.
Well,
So
doctors
yeah.
are often the worst patients.
Exactly. So I'm here talking about technical debt, but I think in my career I have caused a lot of technical debt already. And I definitely have not been a good student and fixing technical debt. I'm trying to. But just as my analogy with the little pot in the back of the fridge, if it's a lot of them and you need to fix all of them and you actually get overwhelmed by technical debt, then that is also a problem.
Yes.
And that also has a name actually, because you can go technical debt bankrupt,
Oh.
and you can declare bankruptcy.
Phew. Heavy. When can you define it bankruptcy in technical debt world?
When the technical debt is actually so high that it makes more sense to completely redesign or refactor the system you are working on or the processes you are working on and start from scratch with the documentation, then to figure it all out and fix the technical debt.
Isn't that what we did a bit in
Yes,
in your documentation space?
that is exactly what we've been doing. We've been taking shit. We've been like, we have actually no clue. Let's just replace it with something new and then we know again what it's going on. And it's always less to figure out that than to look how the whole tooling works.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was last year, something broke down. The guy who was actually managing that service and that server setup left the company. And then suddenly there was an issue. We didn't know how to fix it, so we rebuilt it from scratch that day. And that was actually super cool. And now it's well documented. But in the moment itself, you need to make a call. And this service was a very important one for the company.
Yep.
So after 10 minutes of trying to find out where the issue was and how that we could solve it in the current working situation, we just decided to scratch it and rebuild it somewhere else and have it documented.
Yes.
But in some urgent situations, you need to work fast, and then those are the moments that you realize, okay, now the technical debt is really biting me in the
behind.
in the behind, and you need to do something about it.
But yeah, so you have the incremental or the complete redesign. So you can do incremental paybacks from the technical debt. So this means like small features or small improvements, small fixes that you can test, roll back. But when it's so
Do you
fundamentally...
think my cat is gonna be part of the podcast? He's whining. He wants out because I just gave him new food. You want to say something, boy? I'm gonna let him out, but
Yes.
I can still hear you.
Okay. So what I was saying, and now I'm flying solo again, is that, yeah, you have an incremental pay down. So it means small pieces, you define them, you fix them, you can implement them, you can roll them back in a small thing. And then you have the problem that it goes too big and you just need to completely rewrite the whole thing, redesign the whole thing, make sure it's well documented from the start, because it's just too much depth that you have taken on.
We are talking a lot about depths here.
Yes.
It sounds so depressing.
I think we need a pick me up.
Yeah, we need something light,
Yes.
something tasty.
So we've been talking about the stick. Maybe it's time for the carrot.
How long did you think about this one?
It came pretty natural.
Cool. Sour carrot. So the beer is called Décaroté. It's a Belgian beer
Yes. Brussels beer.
from
again.
La Flaque. Yeah, I can tell by the design on the can that it's a Brussels beer.
Yes. From La Flaque craft beer. It's called Décaroté, which is French for, or at least the French that is in there is for a carrot.
Mhm.
It also gives away something about the beer. It's a special beer because when you pour it, it is bright orange. It's not toxic. You will not start glowing, but it looks orange like a traffic cone. Why is this? Because it's actually infused with carrot juice.
It is. Yeah, it says so on the can as well.
So it is a Berlin Weisse, which is the more sour German style of beer. And instead of the normal fruits that they add a carrot. So yeah, the beer.
But carrot is not a fruit. Carrot is a vegetable, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Special thing.
Yes.
Let's see.
Not the highest in alcohol. 3.66 in alcohol percentage.
What?
Yes.
Ah,
So yeah, after last podcast, I decided we're gonna have a low alcohol. But then I came here and Peter was like with a royalty problem. He was out of beer.
I am
So,
out of beer as we speak.
well, you still have one. in
I
your
have
hand.
one. Yeah, wow.
So let's see.
It's
how
a
this
pretty
tastes.
unique beer as well.
Yes,
Only
yes,
510 people have topped it on Untapped.
It is definitely. I also think it's gonna be a special and acquired taste. So I'm very curious.
And it's canned beer, so
Yeah.
the sound.
Let's give it a smell.
Yeah, I can smell the carrots already.
I can smell carrot, but I definitely can also smell the distinguish of beer. So interesting.
Uh-huh. Sour carrot. That's that is what it is.
Oh, that's funny because I don't really taste that much carrot. It is definitely like sour,
Yeah.
tardy.
Uh-huh.
It is special though, because it has, you know, like these candies that have like the sprinkling on it, like the sour candy. This is kind of similar.
Yeah.
It's
I
like-
get what you mean.
Sour, but it's also
It's not too sour, not at all. The taste
No.
is not super strong. I guess it's a good beer for a nice summer evening or even afternoon. Well, especially since it's so
I-
light in alcohol, afternoon might be
I feel-
perfect.
I feel like it's candy.
Dangerous.
This is the second sip, and where first I had like the more soury aftertaste. Now I first had like the carrot candy taste.
But
And
you
then-
do taste the carrot, don't you?
Yeah, a little
Uh-huh.
bit, not too on
Not
the
too
nose
big,
though,
no.
but it is there. But it is like really the sour candy that you eat. Like these are the flavors that I get from it. Very interesting, very special. So yeah, how do you rate this beer, Peter?
That is a good question. I'm gonna wait a few sips for rating the beer because it's my very first sip was not the best sip ever.
I feel like it's quite creative. Like definitely a special take, not something you will drink every day. We'll see every day. It's a little bit out there. Also, if you see the can, the design is really, really good. We will definitely put the link in the show notes so you can see the crazy design on the can.
We still do that, huh?
Hmm?
The link to the beer
Yeah.
in the Untapped link. Yeah, those are awesome.
And yeah,
I'm
I
gonna-
think it's fun. Like, it's just...
One, no, but one
Yeah.
is not the score you will give it, huh?
No, I will not give it 1. I will not give
Yeah.
it 1. I will, out of 5, right?
Yeah, out of 5.
I will give it a 2.5 passing mark. Definitely.
I started at 2.5 and I upped my score to 3 now,
Okay.
which is very generous of me.
But I would say if you see it in the store, De Carotte, if you have the chance, grab it and embrace the weird. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's
It's a nice drink.
yes, it's surprising, but it grows.
It does grow on you. I like it more with every sip.
Very nice. Very nice.
I hope they don't lose the recipe for this beer because that would be their technical debt.
And we're back into the topic.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. What a transition. Love it.
Where were we? We discussed
Well-
how to identify, how to prevent, how
Well,
to solve.
Prevent, not really, but how to make sure that it's like, yeah, how to identify, how to prevent, keep it as low as possible, because we also established you cannot prevent it. And now, actually, yeah, I think,
I don't believe that you cannot prevent it at all. We just haven't found the right solution yet.
minimize.
Minimize is something you can already do. Well, completely preventing it, probably not. But it should be your far-stretched goal.
Okay, if you think about, okay, we can prevent it completely. Maybe we should go and look at the psychology behind it. Why does a company take on technical debt? What is the human factor in it? Is it because,
You're lazy.
I was just going to say, is it because the engineers are bad?
No, that's too bad of a word. No, lazy. I would say lazy. Everyone is lazy.
Okay.
And then they forget to document something.
Could it be, well, yeah, maybe that's the thing. It's not lazy, it's optimism. Knowing that it's not, or in my opinion, it's optimism. It's like, we'll fix it later. Yeah.
Right.
It's not ideal, but we fix it later.
We'll fix it later is a sentence I use when I'm feeling lazy.
And then never fix it. Or
2 minutes too late.
or like something gets put into place and there is no real owner. Who is following up on this?
Oh, good one.
Oh.
Having no ownership of something.
Yeah, whatever, it still runs. It's all fine when it runs, and then it breaks, and then like,
Yeah.
who knows about this? Yeah, I set this up like 5 years ago. I don't know the details anymore. It's kind of fuzzy, but I'll figure it out.
How many times have you heard the words, don't touch it, don't even look at it, it will break?
So, okay, real life story. I used to be engineer for a company that does like chemical things. It actually probably made the CO2 that is in this beer.
Oh, cool.
And they have
I'm interested in what company it is, but we'll
I
talk
will
about it after.
I will tell you after the podcast. It's actually a company that is still around and is actually my boss is consulting for it as well.
Okay.
So yeah, at that company, and they have the check-in thing at the
batch system.
reception. No, not the batch system. It's really like
Where you need to
declare who is coming and why
Yeah.
you're like, because it's a chemical plant, so you need, like, it's a safety thing. They need to know who's on site at any time and why and
makes
where
total
and
sense.
who's the contact person.
Okay.
That was digitalized many years ago already.
Mhm.
Super nice, like really
very progressive.
progressive for that time, I guess. Instead of just the paper that you need to fill in and sign, you know. So made by that engineer way back, somewhere on a Linux, running. And yeah, of course, it crashed. It wasn't working anymore.
I was waiting for it.
The only thing I could do was reboot the Linux service and pray that it would come back online.
Did it?
It didn't.
Ooh.
It did a couple times. And
then it crashed again.
Lazy as you are, you're like, okay, it's running now, all fixed. We'll look
Closing the ticket.
We will look at it later. We will look at it later.
Yep. I know.
And then a week later,
it happened again.
You revive it. It crashes. You revive it again. Then 2 days later, it crashes. You revive it again.
You know what is a good solution to that problem? To only let the technical debt grow bigger.
Mm-hmm.
You write a little program that just reboots the service every time it crashes. That would be the best fix possible here.
Didn't do that, but it did crash.
I solved the
day
problem.
after.
Not the root problem, but I treated the symptom.
And in the end, of course, you can already see where I'm getting at. It didn't start anymore. So completely dead. Couldn't start it up. Safety issue, safety regulation issue. They needed to go to pen and paper, but of course they want the digital thing again. So what did they need to do? Dig, like, do you still know this guy? Do you still have contact with this guy throughout the company? All of it. Luckily, it's not the biggest company in employee count, and like, they still had the number of the guy, so they had to call the guy. He was already retired at the time. He came back to work on this for 1 day to fix it.
How exotic was this application that he wrote? Like, in what language was it?
The thing is, we didn't know where the location of the... Like, we tried to reverse engineer it, but it was so complex that we didn't get it.
It was running on a Linux server, right?
I don't remember if it was Linux or AS400, which is something completely different.
Okay, yeah, if it would have been that...
I don't remember I think it was AS400 because that makes sense because it was the core of the business back then.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Then I get it.
I actually still have it from good information that system, or not that system, but the AS400 system is still operating to this day.
That smells like technical debt to me.
It definitely was.
And I think, how many companies would still run on that old software, on that old hardware even?
Oh, probably a lot.
That's a sign of technical debt. You should renew your environment once in a while.
Okay, let's talk about technical debt. Or no, let me ask you another story.
We've been talking about technical debt for quite some time now.
I know. No, let me go with another story. So, let's say you're a company that deploys technology to a place where you cannot touch it. But you still need to communicate with that technology, even though you put that technology there.
And you mean
20 years
like
ago.
in a kind of air-gapped environment? Is that what you mean?
You could say it's air-gapped, all right.
Okay, yeah, and you're smiling, so...
I'm talking about NASA.
Yeah, okay, yes,
so,
indeed.
Like... Satellites have been shot up into space like 20, 30 years ago when we were still having like, not 30 years ago, but 30 years ago is still fine. Sorry, I'm completely making myself younger than I am. But yeah, if you shot up a satellite in the 90s where we were still using NT or like Windows 95, and those systems still need to be able to run to contact. You need to keep that legacy systems alive. So there are use cases where technical debt is not really technical debt; it's just a necessity.
Yeah, I do believe.
Well, it's not
those
technical
are
debt because
also
it's outdated, but it's
sure.
We know why.
Okay, so we wouldn't classify this under technical debt.
I don't think this is technical debt.
but I do believe that we can still solve that issue. Okay, it's very old hardware, it's very old protocols which we use to communicate with it. But are we really sure there isn't a way to reverse engineer which ones and zeros the satellites need to do things, and then build something in the modern application landscape to
I think
talk
there
with
will
it?
be a lot of really brilliant interfacers or interface engineers at NASA that fix those things. I'm not one of them. I don't know any of them, so I cannot tell you.
Me neither. And
But-
if we did, we weren't able to tell you. So our answer is no anyway.
It's not like the CIA or anything. NASA engineers are allowed to disclose their identities.
Damn. Okay, we don't know any.
Yeah, so just a thing that technical debt is not like outdated hardware per se or outdated systems per se, because we're always talking about older systems. Or no, it's really like the design decisions that were made at that time still make sense because of the environment it's operating within, because you cannot touch that. And then you can make decisions like maybe creating a new interface that will do translation, so it is a little bit more secure. But it's not always that an old system is technical debt. If the reason why still holds up, it's not technical debt. It's just an old system. Do you agree with that statement?
No, not entirely, I think. And then I'm looking back to, I think the finance department was a nice example. That is old software that they are using from time to time. Well, almost always. I hope. But I would call that technical debt there.
Great. We just lost all our finance listeners.
Maybe. Well, they got to deal with debt as well.
Okay, but you're in a different situation there, because you're in a situation where they're running outdated software or unsupported software or legacy systems,
Yeah.
and you are in the possibility of upgrading them. You just need to make it a priority.
They do need to keep their data for so many years for legal reasons, and that's why they don't like you to move from to other softwares. What if it breaks?
There is, and need to classify that we are in Europe, because I don't know if it's different in other areas of the world. There is a 7-year audit. Right? No. Law. Yeah, you need to keep the documents for 7 years.
Yes.
Financial documents need to stay for 7 years. So, yes, that is there. But when you upgrade to a new system, there will always be a way, because that rule has been in place, to get the old data and put it in the new system.
Now, why don't we do it?
We have. But you also need to convince your users that it's actually there and they can use it and get to it.
Yeah, and I don't want to disclose too much, but something to look into.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's more the making sure that the user is on board with what you are doing. And in this case, there is some doubt from the user that she doesn't want, or the product owner, let's say like that doesn't want to let it go.
Yeah, or they're not confident enough in the new the new solution, and then you need to work on your whole onboarding strategy.
She doesn't want to take the risk.
Yeah, indeed.
Which is fine. Like, I understand, and it's a problem. Or it's a problem. It is a problem for us, not a problem for her.
Him.
Oh, sorry. Oh, no. So bad.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so then are we talking about teams, right? Because we're talking about other teams now. So, we talked about the psychological part. We were talking about that. We started with the optimism of like, I'll do this later.
Oh yeah. Optimism, laziness.
Yeah. No owners. That's the part where we actually went off track.
Is that where we deviated?
Yes. So ownership is important. That there's ownership about those systems.
Yeah, and also when the owner of a system leaves, that this ownership gets transferred to someone else.
Yes.
And I guess that's where the main issue is a lot.
That's why it's on, like, you cannot stop technical debt, because even I've been working with the company now for 5 years. I can do like a transfer of what I am doing, but I cannot transfer my entire 5 years of knowledge of the company. Like, I will most likely more accurately transfer the things I'm now doing on a daily basis than that system that I set up like 4 years ago, documented. Even I documented it, but you also document with a certain glasses on, because you are still documented from a place where you know what you did. So some things you leave out.
Indeed, especially when you create documentation for yourself, then you write down the stuff that you think is important for you, the stuff that you will forget or that you don't just know, but things that are of second nature to you, you will not write it down. Instead, if you write documentation for, let's say, and this is a completely different perspective, but you are creating software for someone else to use, then your wiki pages are not written for you, from your for your understanding, but for end users to use it, and that's a whole other way to create documentation.
Yeah, but I think you always have perception bias. You will always go from a certain way where you think in a certain way. Like,
true. True, but
for
also,
example, if I'm used to walking, like, and I take one step, I skip 3 times, and I take another step, and that's the way I am used to walking, and this is how I've been doing it all my life, and I make that connection flawlessly. But
I will not.
But you have been walking 3 steps instead of one step, skipping 3 times and then one step. I will write my documentation in that way. Like, I will write my documentation in the language and in the habits I know and am comfortable with. But you might have a different background or a little bit of a different background, so you don't make the same connections I do.
Not true.
So the perception bias is always there.
Also, know your audience when you do your documentation. Who is this document for? Is it yourself? Is it future team members? Is it for a handover? Is it for end users?
How easy is it to make the assumption that the people will be on a same technical level as you are?
Easy, they will not be.
Wow.
Sorry. Okay,
Okay.
I'll put my cockiness aside here.
Okay. Wow.
No, but I always try to be as elaborate as possible in my documentations. Oh, wow.
Talking about technical debt.
Yes. Listeners will not understand, but I'm receiving a call from an old colleague of the company. So yeah, I will call him back afterwards.
I didn't know you guys were still in touch. That's nice.
Yeah. Now it's been some time, but it used to be every month that we still call.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it solves technical debt also.
I can, yes, because he's one of the guys that had his entire documentation in his head mainly.
Yeah, and and this is, well, we already said it, because of technical debt when people leave the company. But when a person leaves the company that has been there for 40 years, aka their whole career, then that's the biggest technical debt that you can inherit.
Yes, because those are the things. These are the things where, and that's one of the things also that I wanted to talk about, because we were talking about the psychology of technical debt. Like, wow, you're so popular today, Peter.
Sorry, she will have to wait as well.
The whole thing of like, we'll fix it later, or we'll fix this real fast. Like, we have a quick fix for this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we want to do this with these screens, because I'm now thinking about him. Like, we want to do this with touch screens because it's easier than a keyboard and a mouse. But we can get those and we'll install them and like never let anybody know or document it. And then 40 years later, when you leave the company, somebody else needs to take it on, and all of a sudden those screens need to be installed and calibrated. And how the fuck do they work? Where are they calibrated? What needs to happen? So you spend the 2 days figuring that out.
And it costs a lot of money.
Time mainly, but my time is also paid.
Time is money. That's the system we live in.
But also, there, like, or something else is, it's not always about the engineers. They're not bad engineers. It's not that he's an amazing engineer. He's clever, like super clever. But sometimes it's also about pressure. It needs to be fixed because otherwise this will not run.
Yeah, exactly. And it's in those moments where when you need to make fast decisions and handle quickly because the incident is pretty urgent and important.
Yep.
Those are also main reasons of creating technical debt.
And sometimes you take on debt because it's just necessary. Because it needs to be fixed. And this is the best and the fastest way to do it. So you do the quick fix. You do it down and dirty. And it's just a little strategic intermezzo until you go to the full solution. So sometimes the we'll fix this later is strategic.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to think mine are all strategic, but practice has learned that it's not the case.
Beautiful.
But then, you work in teams, right? We work in teams. You're the security team.
Yeah, my team is super
team.
big. We take a lot of decisions with the whole team.
So how do you handle this in a team? Like, how do you make sure a team can handle, or how do you create a culture and a team structure that you can handle technical debt with your company?
That is a good question. I think for myself and my team,
you, yourself, and you.
Yeah, me, myself, and I. Just going over documentation once in a while helps a lot. Yeah. And if I would have any more team members, that would be just a reoccurring meeting. Let's say once every month, we just sit together for a few hours and go. Yeah, do a retrospect of what's been happening in the last few weeks. Is everything documented? Do we need to change some procedures? Did we see some flaws in processes somewhere? Like, do the whole assessment of everything you've been doing.
I can say, or from personal experience working with you, like you're a one-man team, let's say. Mm-hmm. But what you do well is you don't create it as a silo. You make, or maybe not all the time, but sometimes.
I'm not perfect.
We can always include you in like a cross-functional level, like use you as a soundboard, like bounce things off you, like, hey, we noticed this, like, what do you think? Like, even recently, like, we had a conversation and I was talking with a different colleague because we are an infrastructure colleague, but we are in different domains.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just technically supporting him a little bit.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes. And we came into a meeting with you because we had another topic to discuss related to it. And then we were like, hey, we want to do this redesign, restructuring, also a little bit of cleanup of the technical debt that we took on in the years. Mm-hmm. What do you think? And you were like, oh, that's a great idea. And immediately we're like, okay, let's hash this out together. Let's do this together. Let's like take a day. Let's make a workshop. Let's go and do this. So we're actually already having cross.
Yeah, indeed.
But cross team buy-in.
It's important for us as well because technical debt is a major security risk as well. Mm-hmm. And not only for getting breached, but also the whole availability part of the CIA triad that we try to respect. If you're not able to get your systems back up and running when they crash, that's an issue. When your systems keep on crashing and you have no idea why, that's an issue. So from a security perspective, it is very important to keep this technical debt as minimal as possible to minimize the risk there.
So what the things are then, like, one of the things is the cross-functional stuff.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the thing that we're going to take on as technical debt now, and it's already in the project plan for next year.
Yes.
So it's visible. That's also an important one.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, I am not touching that, or I'm not responsible. It's not my responsibility to make sure this works properly. I could say like, not my responsibility, but I depend on this daily.
Yeah.
Everybody does actually, but I depend on this daily with my applications, with my domain. So I'm like, hey, I see this gap. I see this problem. I think we can fix it. I think we can optimize it. What do you think? And I did a talk with the colleague, did talk with you with it, and we spitballed around. So we went cross team, we identified the issue, and then we were like, okay, let's work on this. Let's go and make a plan for it that we can present to business, to our leadership. Like, hey, we identified this. This is going to be a thing. We want to put this on the roadmap to fix. What do you think? Let's get buy-in. I pitched it to my boss, because your boss is sick at the moment, I think. On leave.
But he will be on board of the idea.
Of course, I know. So pitch it to him. He was already like, all right, get it on the roadmap, make it visible, like put it in the ticketing system, make a project out of it for 2026. Get a day together that you guys can outline and scope the project, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, so we can present it to leadership and get it signed off. So what did we do with that? We actually made the debt visible.
Yes.
We put it into a ticketing system. We put it like as a
nice.
priority. What will we have to do? We'll make sure the decisions that we make are currently the most excellent decisions that make sense at this time, and make sure that we have principles in place to review these decisions on a
regular basis. Indeed.
Every year, every 2 years.
Okay.
Make sure that the knowledge that we are gaining, that we are building, is shared and documented.
Makes all sense.
We already broke down the silos because we worked cross-domain or cross-functional.
So breaking the silos is also an important thing.
Breaking the silos. And that's the way to build the right culture, right?
Yeah.
This is how you build the right culture in your because everybody is invested.
I also like the visibility part here.
Yes, it's very important.
It's super easy to see a problem and then think with yourself like, I don't want to be the one to solve this. I don't want to open this box of Pandora. I'm just going to shut up about it.
No, or even the other way around. You are opening the box and you are struggling there to figure out the box and get it, and you're blocked every way because you're just on your own. But even by putting it into the ticketing system, because every ticketing system has like a tracker or what is happening, you can see the tickets that are newly created, and if you're good in your ticketing system, you follow up on new tickets that are created because you're interested in your job and you're motivated. So you see that ticket created and you're like, oh, they're gonna do this. Oh, let me go talk to the guy that created the ticket because I'm interested. This is interesting. Let's have a conversation about it. Because that's the culture you want to create. You want to be able to talk about things openly, even though it's maybe not their job or maybe it's not their expertise, but you can have these conversations. So I think culture is a really, really big thing for technical debt.
Yes, indeed. Also, don't try to protect your own job by being secretive and not documenting the whole job security part here. We need to get rid of that culture. Document everything. Let everyone know what you're doing.
But hey, the business is mad because we are now not implementing the things they really want. We're fixing our technical debt.
Mm-hmm.
They want a new shiny feature, and we are fixing this old thing that is working and that is stable for them. What are we doing? What is IT not working anymore? Are we not working anymore? What's going on? So what do we need to do?
Good point.
We need to communicate to business, make sure they understand technical depth, make sure they know, like, hey, you see this piece of servers or this application, when we needed to roll out an update on this, it would take us 5 hours, or when it broke, average resolution time would have been 5 hours because we need to figure everything out. Now we fixed this technical debt, and now we actually made sure that it will not break regularly. And when it breaks, we know why it will break.
And you know how to fix it.
Yes.
And then you reduced the time to resolution from 5 hours to maybe 30 minutes.
Yes. So business actually has value from it, even
Yes.
though they don't see it in new functionalities or nice new shiny toys. But hey, we washed the car, we cleaned the gutter, we made sure that when the shit comes, we can take it.
Yeah, indeed. Because it's one thing to buy a new car every time your car is dirty, but you can also just wash your car from time to time.
Yes, and I definitely have to.
Wash your car?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm bad at it too.
It's pretty dirty.
Oh well. Priorities in life. Huh?
So, what are the key takeaways we talked about? Let's wrap this up, huh?
Do your documentation.
Yes.
Talk with people.
Mm-hmm.
Break down the silos. I like this one. Break down the silos. Make your technical debt visible.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be lazy.
Don't be lazy. Yeah. I think the best one is start today. Starting is already a point. Don't fear technical debt.
Embrace it.
Manage it.
Yeah.
Make sure you prioritize it properly, because yes, you'll probably start looking and you will find a lot. Once you start looking, you will find a lot. But what is the most important one to start with? Make sure you document, which we already said. Review it on a regular basis.
Yes, indeed. Have your review loops.
And also, when you're designing something new, think a little bit further than just now. Or when you take an action for something, it's like, oh yeah, we'll fix this real quick. Think a little bit further, document it. Think like, okay, I will fix this really quickly now. What is the impact in like a year? So you make sure you make good decisions and implement technical debt in the culture of your environment. Make sure you all working together to make technical debt as minimum and as manageable as possible.
Cool.
Yes. Really, really cool. Technical debt, buzzword, yes or no?
No, I wouldn't say so, because it actually has some meaning to it. And don't get me wrong, zero trust also has meaning to it. But zero trust is a big ass buzzword because it means a lot. Technical debt is actually it's a well-defined thing that a lot of people tend to ignore or try to neglect it, but just face it head first.
Yes.
Fix it, and you will see the value from it. Not only will you have implemented a more resilient way of dealing with your infrastructure at the company or with your development cycle, but also you will gain a lot of knowledge from it, how the company works, how software works, and it will make you a better person as well.
I think technical debt touches so much because there is a technical aspect. There is a manage your work aspect, so a culture aspect, a business aspect. There is a business aspect because you need to make sure that everybody's on board, you communicate it properly, they see the value in you fixing that technical debt. So it is so broad and such a nice concept in that sense that it touches everything from a technical person to a business guy to the managers that need to figure out like how to take it, like the product owners that need to know how to prioritize, scrum masters, all that stuff. It is such a, and the term is also really great, because if you take on too much debt, you will go bankrupt. And you need to take time, or you need to take resources to fix your debt, to pay your debt.
Nobody likes to pay their debt.
Yes.
Oh well.
So yeah, this was our episode on technical debt. The beer
Décarotté.
Décarotté. Yes, the still on the tree, or are we?
Well, it's kind
At
of
a 4
empty,
now.
my can, so I cannot reassess my decision there. See, I'm already creating technical debt on what I think of this beer. I will implement my my weekly review.
Nice. So yeah, there will be a regular review, and of course we will do a regular review of other beers next month. So catch us for episode 15. This was episode 14 about technical debt, and we will catch you next time.
All right. See you.